Okay, so 2022 Physics Paper 1 higher tier, and this is question 1. Let's get rid of that little bar. So which ray diagram shows total internal reflection at an air and glass boundary? So the important thing is to understand we have to be in the more dense medium. So this needs to be more dense, that needs to be less dense, and it needs to be in there. If that takes place, it'll just refract through. So, okay, we need to be in the more dense. And then the other thing is we know that this needs to be above the critical angle of 42 degrees. So let's call that critical theta. So we're looking for that one. So I'm in glass, I'm in glass, I'm in air, can't be that one. I'm in air, can't be that one. Okay, so the next one is glass to air. And we can see, well, those two angles are different, so it can't be that. So it must be that one. Yep, that angle's above 42 degrees. And the theta I equals theta R. So it must be B. Next one, use the equation to determine the magnification of the virtual image. And it tells us magnification is height of the image divided by height of the object. So we're just going to have to find the image, which is this part, and measuring it. Then we're going to have to find the object. We can see this is unitless, so we can just count squares. So 18 for the image, this part, divided by 7, this part, and that gives us 2.6 for the magnification. And the exam board says plus or minus 0.5. Describe one way the magnification could be increased. So one of the ways is we could move the lens further away, or the other ones that are easier to do. So rather than talking about changing the distances, we can talk about the power of the lens. So just make that convex lens more curved or more convex. So use a higher power, more curved or more convex lens, or we could move the object further from the lens. Okay, next one. We've got a big fancy diagram. It's telling us what to do, but ultimately it says calculate the focal length, and it used this equation. So we just have to use that. Now what's making this tricky is we can see we've got a 1 over f. So at the end of all of this calculation, you're going to have to do the inverse at the end. You're going to have to do 1 divided by all of that. So it tells us what to use. We do not need to do a unit change. So there and there. And if you did do a unit change, it will give you the same answer because we've got ratios here. So 20 plus 40, we've done that part, divided by 20 plus 40. We've just taken the two values there. That comes to 0.075. And that's where most people gained 1 mark. Very few, according to the exam report, did the next part. This is 1 over f. So we're going to have to do 1 over 0.075 will give us our answer. Or when we've got our answer, just press the x to the minus 1 button on your calculator. If you don't know where that is, have a practice. And there we go. 13.3 centimetres or 0.13 metres. And that's that.